FIThydro is set up as a consortium of science and industry partners, and I think the test case concept, so having the experience of 15 test cases, ensures a very strong interlinkage between science and industry, because we can really test new tools and devices in real life, and that gives a very strong link.
This collaboration between industry and science, in our point of view, is quite important, because from our side it raises our awareness on the importance of the eco-impacts of our activity. Developing these works along with the research centers and universities, I think it also brings around the opportunity of raising their awareness on the impacts that the introduction of mitigation measures can have.
We are benefiting a lot as an engineering company to get knowledge on state-of-the-art techniques, measurement techniques, but also then the mitigation measures that are developed. That is a big advantage for us, and I think that on the other side, for the science partners, it is also an advantage to get a good feeling of what are the realities in an engineering company.
We expect from FIThydro to have more insight on the impact our power plant has on fish migration, and also, and most importantly, we hope to get answers on how to implement fish migration measures and which fish migration measures to implement.
Our expectations on FIThydro are first of all to learn more about mitigation measures. It is known that some of the negative public perception on hydropower, at least in Portugal, has to do with the disadvantages that it can bring, and mitigation measures solve many of those, but they're relatively unknown to the big public and to ourselves. It's also important to learn more about them and what they cost and how they can negatively affect power generation.
Yeah, our expectation for participating in the project is that we can, of course, gain some knowledge from the others, try to keep up with technology that is developed and techniques, and on the other hand, we also can support the team or the project with our knowledge, especially the experience that we have due to real-world projects. Sometimes there is a gap between the research and the consulting business or the real world, let's say. So we try to make this gap a little bit smaller.
Benefits are, of course, for us that we are able to develop new tools that we can later on apply in practical projects. I mean, we are dealing a lot with research, but still we are engineers, we have projects, we want to run projects. And of course, with these new models, we have new opportunities to get the interest of HPP operators, but also of authorities. So it's a big gain for us in terms of competitiveness.
We've experienced so far that the collaboration and the mutual understanding between science and industry is very respectful and interested. And we also highly appreciate the cooperation between the different operators, and it helps us a lot to see how the Water Framework Directive is being implemented in different EU countries.
And I have to be honest, I'm working since years now in the field of hydropower research and analysis. And this is more or less really the first time that we have really good collaboration with the operators. And I really think it's very important that they make part of the project, because so they can understand what we are doing, and we can also see what are the problems they have with operation. So it really helps. So the collaboration is really excellent with the hydropower company, but also I think between the applied science we are doing and with the people from the universities. So it's really good collaboration.
We are under a lot of pressure to improve fish migration in Switzerland at all power plants, and of course the main stakeholders and one of the main stakeholders in these projects in this regard are the NGOs and the fisheries, and they've taken a great interest in the FIThydro project. So the FIThydro project allows us to really show that we are actively trying to find solutions where there are no current solutions available, and that we are not just sitting there and waiting for something to happen. And this translates into a really good relation with NGOs and fisheries.
Hydropower is an energy source that is really deeply rooted in the local culture and regional culture. So it was always very important to have a good collaboration with the regional stakeholders along the river. So at our test case Altheim, the implementation of new habitat structures is highly appreciated by the local fisheries. But of course, it also needs to be aligned with the authorities and the residents that live along the river. So in Altheim, we have information panels, boards that show the individual elements of the fish pass and explain some information about hydropower in general, and that raises the public acceptance. And I think that's really important and beneficial for any stakeholder along the river.
My thoughts on hydropower in the future is it still will be a really important power source to gain climate goals, and it will be really important when it comes to flexibility in the system.
I'm convinced that hydropower will be very important in the future energy sector. It's renewable energy, and all renewable energies will be very important according to the energy strategies of different countries. And hydropower has some special characteristics as a renewable energy. It's more predictable than other renewable energies like solar power and wind power. And then hydropower can also be used to store energy, which is a very important point for future energy sector.
I think hydropower as a renewable energy is going to be an important part in the energy mix for the future. And I think the focus in Europe is going to be mostly on the rehabilitation of old power plants. And with this project, I think you can get two major points for the future. You can improve the efficiency of the power plants and as well the ecological footprint of the power plants.